up in the top right, top center-ish side, it is going to be GoldenLighT as our yellow Zerg. If you are just joining us, there have been nothing but good ZVZs so far in the games that we've cast, and in the center left side, it is going to be VortiX, who in the last game was a little bit surprised to see GoldenLighT because he's such a strong player and from Korea. But anyways, it is indeed VortiX.
Now, on this map, we did see GoldenLighT successfully execute some Nidus network play against Johnny Rico, but it was a little bit of an unstable Nidus network play. It was doing some damage, reducing the expo count, but all the while, GoldenLighT was slowly falling behind economically. It was actually the flubbed counterattack by Johnny Rico that gave GoldenLighT the win. So it's really up to VortiX to have the substantial defense that he needs to stay alive.
Right now, I'm kind of curious to see on this map. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the cast. It's definitely important to re-emphasize is that when you expand, you're expanding away from your opponent.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why at previous tournaments who have been using this map, we have seen some late game ZVZs. We're talking Ultralists with chitinous plating upgrades and 3-3 across the board, just duking it out. And really, Sean, how do you micro units in a Ultralist versus Ultralist battle? We don't see it very often. And I feel like most players don't get to don't really get a practice for something like that.
You know, that is one of those funny things that really harkens back to my favorite thing ever, having a practice partner. Someone you can actually say, dude, build 5 Ultras, I'll build 5, and we each get 3 Infestors and whatever else we want. Let's figure out the best way to control these units. In a sense, you just have to return back to some really excellent flanking logic and make sure that those Infestors aren't in too wrong of a position. Weirdly enough, the Infestors' fungal growth is primarily used against big groups of roaches. That's where people start to really use it a lot.
Right.
But against Ultras, using the infested Terrans can actually form very nice walls. If you see an opponent's Ultralisks getting a little split up, you can engage and then throw down a whole bunch of infested Terrans and actually create a wall, an island around 2 or so Ultras, and then pick those 2 off. So that's a technique that I'm hoping to see pop up in this game.
Sean, that's why we need that continue from replay feature. Just go to a late game 50-minute ZVZ and just duke it out for hours with the same battle over and over. I'm actually really excited about that feature. But anyways, we do have almost identical builds here, as we do have the gas at about the same time for both players, slightly earlier here for VortiX, and the spawning pool is going to be finishing up almost the exact same second as well. Expansions at the exact same second, and I am willing to bet that the drone count, yep, it's almost exactly the same here. Excuse me, double queen on the way. And really, I mean, this is about as macro heavy as you can get while still not being ridiculous in this matchup, because I don't think I've ever seen a Zerg go for like 3 hatcheries at the 4-minute mark.
Well, you haven't watched Cat's stream.
Ah, true.
That
indeed.
man, hatch, hatch, hatch. Oh, I'm getting proxied. No problem. Counter with drones.
Yeah, Zerg players, on a serious-ish note, have actually learned that drones are really freaking good at
They're
holding
about
out
as good as Zerglings.
Yeah, exactly, and it's kind of funny to say that because it's something you would expect to be like, well, duh. But I remember back not even that long ago, players were scared to use their drones in those engagements, worrying that, because you got to remember that drones are so costly, especially in ZVZ and TVZ. But anyways, it does look like Zergling's going to be moving up here, spots the expansion. I mean, I guess he's going to see how many drones are there. He's not going to get that much intel out of this. And is the poor little Zergling going to survive? Nope. Away he goes.
Gets double darted. At this point in time, we can see that both players have essentially the same idea in mind. Spine, Bane, speed, defense, nothing too out of the ordinary. The most notable thing that's actually going on is that VortiX is taking a second gas geyser and building an evolution chamber. That's quite a substantial shift in the early game, because the instant you start getting gas, you have a lot more opportunities to begin spending your money. You can get upgrades, you can get your layer up, you can go mass Banelings. So at this point, GoldenLighT, with his only 1 geyser, is declaring that he wants a fast third. VortiX could very much so be going for some fast upgrade play, maybe a faster layer, maybe he wants to build some roaches. Nope, there's the 3rd gas going down. It's going to be fast layer and fast upgrades from VortiX.
Yeah, he does decide to go for the 4th one as well, just adding it on there, and the +1 armor is going to be on the way. That, of course, does benefit every single Zerg unit, whereas you also have to get melee or range upgrades depending on what it is that you want to do. And yeah, they do both go for the armor upgrade right there. A very similar style here for both players, just marching forward, and I'm getting more and more excited the longer units don't die, because that means that they're going to have a lot of stuff in the mid and late games. Yeah, remember, we're only at the 7-minute mark, and the amount of drones that they have is pretty substantial. LairTech, though, going to be on the way quite early for VortiX. He needs to make sure to have enough here to defend this circling attack. He can't allow that community to get spread. Oh, one nice hit there, and all of a sudden, GoldenLighT's saying, okay, he's playing for realsies. He is going to actually kill my units. I should probably retreat.
He's playing for realsies. He's playing for keepsies. He's playing for killsies. In the top right, we see that third base going down from GoldenLighT. No surprise there. He declared on top of Mountain High that he was doing that by delaying gas 2, 3, and 4 so much. But VortiX going for that mega fast layer. Wouldn't surprise me to see him go for Mutalisks or Infestors. He's done both, and of course his build supports both. A little surprised to not see that bonus evolution chamber, but makes perfect sense if he wants to be going for that third base as he's going for now.
These Zerglings getting in here. We've seen time and time again today just how important this mid-game scouting really is. He's going to see exactly what's going on. And I want to mention the Overlord positioning here for GoldenLighT. He's got an Overlord at the third. He knows what's up. He's also got an Overlord at the main and right between the bases, so he knows exactly what the troop movements are for his opponent, where VortiX, on the other hand, does not have that well-placed Overlord. There's also going to be the creep spread, very good for GoldenLighT, which allows him to deny the Overlord scouting around, and I think that this expansion still has not really been spotted.
Wow.
He may have seen those transferring drones, but I don't think he has full confirmation on when that expansion was.
Couple Baneling trades going on.
Oh, what?
Wow, did that what?
I don't know how that didn't kill any Lings, those Zerglings. I guess because that +1 armor, actually, with the radius of the splash damage, managing to keep those guys alive. That's not something you see very often, where a Baneling explodes in a big group of Zerglings and nothing dies but the Baneling.
Yeah, and that Zerg laughing about his +1 armor upgrade. Actually coming into pivotal use there. We see the exchange going on, but of course in that health tab you see a lot of those Zerglings down in the red life. In the meantime, GoldenLighT rushing for a layer of his own, going for the Zergling Infestor composition, but Mutalisks are about to pop out for VortiX. We see the Queen count not particularly high, and I'm so excited to see VortiX literally doing anything but normal. He's not going for any sort of Roach mid-game. He's neglecting Roach upgrades. He's going for fast thirds, fast Mutalisks, really showing how dynamic the ZVZ matchup is. And look at this, sacking lots of drones in favor of faster tech.
11 Mutas about to pop out here, which is going to give him a slight supply lead, but with 10 drones on the way, he's got to do some damage and do it quick. He cannot be using these Mutalisks to kill off the Zerglings, because the time it takes to kill those Lings, the extra drones that GoldenLighT has is going to replace them quicker than the Mutalisks can chase them down, so he knows he needs to be aggressive, and here he goes. The only anti-air right now for GoldenLighT, let's take a look at the unit tab, is only going to be 3 Queens, and all of a sudden, with no Infestors out quite yet, these Mutalisks are looking mighty terrifying.
Oh, GoldenLighT in a real bind. Going to take a ton of damage right now, and we see that there is no counterattack attempt going on right now for GoldenLighT. VortiX target firing the infestation pit. It's going to be close. Transfuse. He desperately needs to get another transfuse.
Oh my
He's
God.
going to finish.
Oh my God!
Oh, did it?
Did he get it?
I have no idea. I don't know. We're going to see when the infestors pop out. And
there
he
is.
got it! No!
He
It looks like he's down at 50 energy.
Oh.
It looks like VortiX did manage to get the infestation pit before the upgrade finished. I can't believe he got it with the double transfuse. My mind is just drooling right now.
Sean, I have to pick up your brain matter out of my carpet, because that was amazing. Although at the same time, do you think he did enough damage by delaying that, because he wasn't able to kill drones, he wasn't able to kill off the Queens really, and now he's only able to kill Overlords in the center. So what do you think about the fact he got that? Is it good enough?
Well, it certainly means he's not doing direct damage. Killing the drones almost always going to be a good choice. Killing off the infestation pit, is it good or is it bad? Well, what it does is it buys lots and lots of time. Right now, he has to charge 25 energy on each of those infestors. That's 50 seconds in game that those infestors are going to be essentially useless. Look at him there, still retreating from just a pair of Mutalisks and doing these little bits of harassment. And VortiX means that he can take a 4th base down south, he can take a 5th, he can start going roaches. Any number of options are available to VortiX at this moment.
And you know, Sean, I think there was actually a fungal used on an individual Mutalisk, keeping that energy even lower than it already was. And do you think he's going to keep making Mutalisks here, or is it too big of a risk with the infestors out now?
I don't even think it's so much about a risk at this this point as it is about manipulating GoldenLighT's composition. At this point, GoldenLighT has to be really aware of the Mutalisk, has to kind of be going Infestor Ling to make himself stay alive, and then just flooding Roach and Fester. Vortix is going to have a much better mix.
Mutalisk right now going to be picking off a couple of the Banelings. There's the
God,
Infestor.
that's a
He
cool
might be able to
composition.
spot them. As you can see, you can barely see a burrowed unit if you are paying attention. It's harder to see than an observer, though. But if he's able to realize that these are on the way, he should be able to hold it up. But it's going to be a lot of fungals. Need to be careful here with those lanes. Here comes a tense moment. It's about to take place. He does spot here, but the Banelings, they get fungled. He's going to be able to hold this up with such ease, actually bungling the Banelings, and completely one-sidedly swings through. He kills off every single Infestor. VortiX is amazing!
That was so terrible for GoldenLighT. Burrowed at the exact wrong moment, getting fungled when all the units step into the action, and now all of a sudden we see GoldenLighT's hive finishing up. He will not have those ultimates in time. A stunning fungal growth right there by GoldenLighT, but he's going to need to land a lot more than a couple of fungals, as right now his opponent is coming up with 8 full Infestors, Roaches, some Mutalisk to do a little bit more harassment. Only Burrow, Unburrow can keep GoldenLighT alive. And what the fungal on the Overlords? This is just overkill by VortiX.
Indeed, he actually... Oh, there's the GG!
Wow.
Immediately he was throwing out